Hi everybody, it is Nat, and today I'm here with another reading vlog. Today I am reading Pendragon Book 7, The QUILLAN Games, and I am loving it. I feel like whenever I do a reading vlog, I always love the- oh, on camera. But no, I feel like whenever I do a reading vlog, I always love the books. I feel like I'm like, oh, it's not good. That's okay. I mean, it's good to read good books, right? But yes, I am reading Pendragon and absolutely loving it. It's been a few years since I read this series, and I forgot how good it is. For those of you who don't know, it's pretty much just like there's a bunch of different like dimensions pretty much, and there's like this certain group of people who can like travel to all of them, and then there's like this evil guy trying to like destroy all of them, and they have to like save all these territories from like their turning point and tipping into chaos, and it's super good, and I'm so excited to be back in this world. I forgot how good it was. Like I said, it's been like a few years since I was in this world, and it's so good to be back. This book is taking place on QUILLAN, and so this one is like really kind of creepy, I'm not gonna lie. It's like they play a bunch of games to the death, and like that's how they make money and like make food for their family, and there's a lot that we don't know about this world yet. I feel like, I mean, it's been a long time, but I feel like this is the world that like we don't know the most about. Like all the other worlds, they're kind of like pretty self-explanatory. At least we like find out like the gist of it early on, but like I feel like we don't really know anything about this world other than that like the entire world revolves on these games. But like why, they were like, what exactly happens when people lose? They have to like card it off. Yeah, I think I'm actually, oh, I didn't even say what page I'm on. Jeez, I'm like halfway through. I'm on page 229, and right now Pendragon is on his way to talk to the trustees, so I think, and he's with Neva, so I think we might finally get some answers, hopefully. Also though, really sad that the Arbara Traveler just died. Like, we never got to know him. Like, I feel like that's pretty sad. And I know the next book takes place in Arbara, so I'm interested to see how that is all going to play out, because there's no Arbara Traveler, so like what the heck is going to happen? But yeah, I'm really excited to see where the series goes. It's super interesting. I'm really excited to see kind of how like Bobby like goes through this world, and like if he does compete and if he wins, or if he somehow gets out of competing and just like runs away, and like what the tipping point is going to be, and what St. Dane's up to. There's just so much that we don't know yet. And yeah, for being halfway through, I feel like there's a lot that I'm like, I don't know what's happening, but it makes it all the more interesting. It makes me like just want to read the whole thing right away. But yeah, I'm just gonna get back to the book because it's seriously so amazing. Hi again, guys. So I am now page 414 of Pendragon, the QUILLAN Games, and this book is insane. I only have about like 60 or so pages left, and it is so intense right now. So much has happened. I don't even know what the last thing I said was and what has happened since then. But right now, Bobby is currently competing in the Grand X, and it's crazy, and I feel like he's being set up in some way. Even if he wins, I feel like he's going to be set up. Even if he loses, I feel like he's going to be set up. I feel like something is not right here, especially because when he came home to Courtney, he seemed like not all that happy and like great and stuff. So I'm just like really worried about what's going to happen. And also, what the heck, like Vigo and LeBear are from Velox? Like, what? I did not see that coming at all, and I'm like really worried about how St. Dane is now like mixing stuff from their territories, because I hadn't even thought about that before, and that's like a really good way to turn everything into chaos, which, I mean, they haven't said this, but like that's pretty much why QUILLAN is the way it is because LeBear and Viog, whatever her name is, they introduced games from their territories that were so addictive because they weren't from QUILLAN, so like these people love them even more, and that's why their territory is so horrible now. And it's just like so much is happening, and I'm really excited to see, because I know in the next book Bobby goes to Ibarra, but I know right currently he just got home to Second Earth, so I'm confused. Well, I'm not confused, but like I'm curious to see how that all happens, how he ends up going to Ibarra. But yeah, I want to finish his journal. I'm like, oh my gosh, this book is just like so suspenseful. Also, I am very confused on what exactly is happening with Second Earth, because Courtney like sucked into the flume and she came back, and it's like still Second Earth, but like it's slightly different, and oh, camera. And I'm really curious to see what that is all about, and if we'll find out in this book or if we'll find out later. Because yeah, everything is different. My only thought would be that like maybe when she left in the flume, she went after St. Dane, but St. Dane had already gone back and changed things. If that makes sense. I don't know. I'm really curious to see what that's about because even Bobby isn't quite sure what's happening there. Oh, and where the heck did Mark go? Mark is like the biggest mystery of this whole thing. Like, where did Mark go? I feel so bad. Freaking Andy Mitchell is Saint Dane. I thought that once, I think it was in this book because Courtney was so suspicious. I thought that like maybe Andy was Saint Dane, but like that Saint Dane had killed off like the mean Andy and become the nice Andy. But I had no idea. Didn't even think that the whole time Andy was Saint Dane. And it's just so interesting because it's like it seems that like all this stuff is happening at the same time because of like the different time frames and because the flumes drop you off like where you're supposed to be. It's really interesting that like all of this is kind of happening like all at the same time, and it's like Saint Dane is putting in work because if he was oh my gosh because if he was on Second Earth this whole time like as Andy Mitchell, it's like a whole lifetime that like he put in. Like he just sat in classes like, and I bet that their whatever what's it called, their forge, that why can I not think that material that like makes the forge, I guarantee that's from another territory. Yeah, I'm just, there's a lot that's happening and I'm very excited. I'm so close to being done, so I think I'm gonna go back and keep reading because I cannot wait to see how this book ends. Hey guys, okay, so a little bit, actually kind of like a few days ago, I finished the QUILLAN games and this book was so good. I finished it a bit ago and I just went straight into the next book, so I kind of don't remember where I last talked about, but the ending of this was so intense. I just think it's so funny how like most of the intense parts of these series are written in journals. Like you know it turns out okay. You're like, obviously he's alive, like it's fine, but it's still like it's just this story is just written so well that like even though I know he's alive, I'm like, oh my god, is he gonna die? Like but yeah, no, this book was seriously so amazing. I loved reading about the Grand X. It was very intense. Yeah, this is such an amazing book. I just flew through it. I could not put it down. The ending, like I said, was very intense. It kind of sucks though that they lost QUILLAN, but I feel like they can get it back. Kind of like, I can't remember if we talked about it in this book or in the next book, but Bobby's kind of just been talking about how like there might be multiple turning points and like just depending on the path of the people, lots of different things could happen. And I'm kind of like, yeah, I see it, I feel that. But yeah, so hopefully QUILLAN eventually can right itself. The one thing I don't really get is like the people were ready to revolt against Block even before they knew what Mr. Pop was. So like I get like by destroying Mr. Pop that definitely like puts a damper on things, but like when they were revolting they didn't even know Mr. Pop like existed. But it's fun. But yeah, so I'm very excited to continue on with this series. Like I said, I'm reading the next book right now and it is very good. I'm very confused about what is happening in that book. But yeah, this was a great read for me and you guys should all read Pendragon. But I think that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!